Game of the week. Jags, Bills. Ooh-wee. This is going to be a very fun game, in my opinion. I've been saying fun a lot in this podcast, but I truly mean it. This is going to be a very fun game. How the Bills could win, before I even get into the Jags, how the Bills could win. Well, they are the Bills. They are the Buffalo Bills. They've been to the playoffs, 7 consecutive years right now. They have arguably the best quarterback in the playoffs. They have arguably the best quarterback in football. Whoever you're talking to, they may argue that, right? But I'm just saying, they have the reigning MVP. They have the vets. They have the continuity. They have the experience. They have all these things going for them. And of course, everyone's out there just, well, the AFC's wide open. The NFC's wide open. When we look 20 years from now, we're not going to sit up here and say the 2025 Jaguars were a juggernaut of a team, or we're not going to say the 2025 Broncos were the juggernaut of a team, because there's no Mahomes, there's no Joe Burrow, there's no Lamar Jackson. But I'm going to tell you right now, everyone is penciling in the Bills kind of like throwing a dart at the wall hoping it sticks, because there's no other competition out there in their eyes, right? So everyone's penciling the Bills as if they can win this game, they're getting to the playoffs, getting to the championship game. And arguably, I do believe that, right? If they do win this game, that means Josh Allen is about to go on a run we've never seen before. I can say that before this game kicks off. So the Bills, they definitely win this game, right? And at the end of the day, right? At the end of the day, it's the Jacksonville Jaguars, right? That's what they're going to say, the Jacksonville Jaguars. It's just at the end of the day, great season, but it's fluky. They're getting ahead of themselves. The fans are getting to the Super Bowl. What? Jacksonville? Nah, they're getting ahead of themselves. Give me the Bills. That sounds good. Really good, right? And that's my keys to how the Bills could win. And of course, being able to utilize the running attack with Ty Johnson, Ray Davis, and most importantly, the leading rusher in football, James Cook. And Josh Allen can definitely put on that cape and backpack this team to victory. And of course, the Jaguars could lay down and be like, damn, we're experiencing Josh Allen and James Cook right now. All right. And the Jaguars could implode. Trevor Lawrence could revert back to his old ways. Liam Cohen can, have a rookie mistake as a head coach and call it a disaster of a game, and Sean McDermott can coach circles around him. It could very well happen. But in my opinion, it won't. It won't. It won't, because when you take off your Jaguars stench from the last 10 years, when you remove the Trevor Lawrence fumbles and interceptions from the last 5 years, when you sit back and just scrub away the disaster of the secondary play and the rush defense getting gashed by Derrick Henry for the last 10 years, when you remove all of that funk and stench and you look at the numbers, and you look at how this team has played to close out this season, the last 8 games during this 8-game winning streak, you realize, in comparisons to the Buffalo Bills, the Jacksonville Jaguars are indeed the better team. They're 13-4. The Bills are 12-5. I get that, but the Jaguars are clearly the better team. They've been playing the better football, and 9 times out of 10, at least for the first round, at least, whoever is entering the postseason the hottest and they have that first round game, they typically come out on top. I want to say, there's probably not a number behind it, but I want to say at least 80% of the time, especially if they're at home. I just don't see, I can see a world, don't get me wrong, but I just don't see this Jaguars team losing. And I'm trying not to be biased, but I'm looking at it. They have the number 1 rush defense in football. It is no fluke. They've gone against some very stout running offenses. They shut Jonathan Taylor down. They have shut in teams like the Chargers down. They have shut in I'm trying to think who else can run the ball effectively in the games we played. The Broncos, they're not really a great running offense, but still, they've shut down teams in the running department where you may say, damn, they have a really good running team, and the Bills, of course, haven't faced the number 1 team, but this Bills offense has been well documented throughout this year that James Cook has arguably been their best player and their MVP and arguably their best offensive player on this year's team, on this iteration of the Buffalo Bills, in my honest opinion. Whenever he goes for over 100 yards from scrimmage, they win. I think they've only lost 1 time when he has gone for over 100 yards from scrimmage, and that was, I want to say, I'm sorry. It's not the stat. I'm sorry. Anytime he rushes for over 100 yards from scrimmage, they win. The only time he didn't do that, the lone win they do have, because other games he didn't do it, they lost. The lone victory they did have was week 1 against the Ravens, and that's because they were down by 20 damn points, and Josh Allen definitely backpacked that victory for sure. And granted, I know Josh Allen is a better player. I get it, all that. But I mean, this season alone, this version of the Bills, James Cook has been their most valuable player, in my opinion. But the Jaguars had the number 1 rush defense in football. So it plays right into our hands, right? And granted, I know Joe Brady is going to come into this game and try to play ball control, try to milk the clock, limit the offensive possessions for the Jaguars. You kind of saw Shane Steichen introduce that a bit, right? He tried to nickel and dime and keep the ball away from the Jaguars. And, it didn't work out, mainly because of his quarterback, right? Just being so limited. So maybe Joe Brady turns back that tape on and say, hey, there is a way we can keep this game in control, because we have to keep that offense off the field, because their offense is high power and the Jaguars are on fire right now offensively. However, I'm not sure if it'll matter, because if they do try to play keep away, it may play into our hands even more, because you're going to force Josh Allen more than likely to convert 3rd and 13s, 3rd and 14s, 3rd and 16s. And granted, he definitely can without question, but who is he throwing to? Who is he throwing to? Khalil Shakir. He's the best weapon right now. But after Khalil Shakir, I think he has close to 800 yards receiving this year. After Khalil, their second leading receiver is Keon Coleman with 430-something yards. And he's been a healthy scratch all throughout this season. They have limitations in the receiving room. Granted, Brandon Cooks has had his moment to close out this year, but he's older, right? You have guys like Josh Palmer, right? You have to respect him, but still, he hasn't been a good free agency signing for this Bills team this year. You have Dawson Kincaid, who can't stay healthy. You have Dawson Knox, good tight end. Don't get me wrong, those tight ends are really good, but still, it's just not enough, right? This Jaguars team is better on paper, and I think they are the more complete team. They're playing better football right now. Trevor Lawrence is on a heater. He's arguably been the best quarterback in the NFL, aside from Matthew Stafford, and Drake May to close out this season. Offensively, they're putting up 19.9 points in their last 8 games, but they've also had games where they've won by 3 or more scores. They've been one of the hotter offenses in football without question, although they may not be able to run the ball. However, the Bills suck at stopping the run, and it's because why? Teams are saying, we don't want to throw against you. We're just going to gash it down your throat. And everyone hypes up the Bills have one of the better pass offenses in football. Yeah, they do. It's because they can't stop the run. Literally, they just cannot stop the run. So, and this is a game where the Jaguars can get back to establishing the run to open up the pass, or vice versa, right? So, I think with the Jaguars being at home, being an underdog in this game, a 1.5 point underdog, by the way, it may jump to 2. It may come down to 1. It may even be a even count come kickoff time. But nevertheless, though, the Jaguars are they are home underdogs. The home dogs. I think the Jaguars win, man. I think this is going to be a game where the Jaguars get off to a very hot start. I can see them easily going up 21-7 before halftime. Second half, they kind of play with their food a little bit, and the Bills do have this comeback, but it's too much. I think the Jaguars win from a score of 34-27, and the score won't truly indicate how much the Jaguars dominated in this upcoming game.